The one thing that I wish every new model understood is that you do not need a complete makeover to start modeling. You don't need a complete makeover to keep on modeling either. I wish every new model understood this. So we're going to dive into this a little bit, and I want to prove it to you that the things that you feel like keep you from modeling, oh, I don't look pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not tall enough, I have this or that or whatever things that you're viewing as your kryptonite, you're like, oh man, this is why I can't do the thing. I'm going to completely blow that out of the water for you here. And hopefully this is going to help you get the right mindset to understand that as you are right now, you can book modeling jobs. You can be in paid advertising. You can have this shoot and that shoot and have plenty of work for yourself. Now, this is not to say that I'm completely against a makeover. I mean, change is inevitable. That's what happens as an individual, as society. I remember, and we do this en masse as well as on an individual level. Think back to elementary school, middle school, high school. At some point, you probably dressed a certain way, and then you dressed a different way. I remember back in the day in middle high school wearing huge baggy clothing. I mean, like the tall tees that are like 5X, you know, Andre the Giant type t-shirts. And that was the thing that was in style. I used to wear backwards, snapbacks, fitted hats, all this stuff, you know, the flat brim, the sticker on it, just silly stuff when I look back at it. That's how I dressed. Very big baggy things, and that's what was in style at the time for the crowd of people that I was working to impress, and that's what I wore. And then fast forward some years and I find myself wearing pants that are a little too tight. They're like a cheap hotel. There's no ballroom. I got to give credit. That was from a photographer friend of mine that shared this with me literally 2 days ago. We were shooting and I was crying laughing. His grandpa told him that joke. Anyway, seriously though, I went from super baggy clothing, all this weird non-fitted stuff, to then all of a sudden everybody's wearing fitted, very tight, snug fitting things. We all change. We all have makeovers, whether immediate, one time, a very acute moment of I'm going to do a complete makeover, or it's just a slow evolution of things. So we all go through this. It's not that I'm against makeovers. Even if you want to have a very big, extreme makeover, the point is make sure that it's because of something that you aspire to become like and that you admire, not because you are chasing something. This would be like people that are musicians and they go, oh, Jimi Hendrix, one of the best of all time, and he did acid. Therefore, if I do acid, I'm going to be one of the best guitarists of all time. It's like, that's not how this works. Those are maybe correlated, those things with Jimi Hendrix, but that's not a causal relationship. It doesn't mean that if you do that, then you get this. So a makeover, if you want to do a makeover, if you're like, you know, I'm kind of tired of dressing, you know, like I did in high school, and I really admire people that dress very business-like and they wear suits everywhere, and I love that. And I want that kind of style, and I want to change my hairstyle up. If that's what you want, intrinsically, that's just what you admire, and that's like, man, it would make me feel really good, and I love that. Go for it. I'm all for that. But the point is, whatever you look like right now, whatever you're showing up like right now is enough for you to start modeling, period. Now let's get into some things. Very, very high level research that I've done here, and I'm going to walk you through this. I mean, this is like incredibly in depth. It took me years to learn how to do this. Simple Google search of unique looking models, the most unique looking models. And then what pops up on Google is something, thelist.com. And I'm going to walk you through a few models who had things that probably some of the most painful years of their life because of how they look. And then they turn that into a beautiful success for them. So let's do a little walkthrough here so you can have a real understanding that whatever your situation is right now, it's not your situation, your ailment, your able body, your disabled body, whatever it is that you have, it's not that that's holding you back. It's your mind. You change this up and you realize that people are doing this. I can do it too. This is what we're getting into on this video. And here we are. These are the most unique models in the industry. Now, if you look, this is dated February 22nd, 2021. This is 3 years ago. Now, if you want to fill in the gap of 3 years' time, what's changed, what's not, we'll talk about what's more inclusive or less inclusive. Now, let's look at this. Darius Vernon, tatted up. He's got, look at his lips, right? He's got, I believe it's pronounced vitiligo or vitiligo, depending on where you are. Basically skin pigmentation where it loses the melanin in the skin. So made fun of for years for this and crushing it as a model. Sabina Carlson, freckle face. How many times did you hear that growing up and little kids being made fun of? Oh, freckle face, look at you. And she's got a very unique look. She's also, if you read the article, which I will link in the, I'll link it below. The article goes into how she, yeah, not only freckle face and all this stuff, but she gave up on the standard size, trying to hold this to her body type and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm just going to go for it in size 12s and 14s. There you go. Sean Ross. I clipped this one to show he's got albinism, right? Albino. 1 in 20,000 people. 1 in 20,000. It affects your hair, your skin, your eyes. 1 in 20,000. This is very unique. Very unique. Something that obviously made fun of, like kids do. Kids point out all these things, and adults too. Crushing it as a model. Jillian Mercado. If you look closely here, and I kept this in the clip as well, if you look closely, she's a wheelchair user. She has muscular dystrophy. She is a wheelchair user. She still crushes it, and not just in front of camera. She also helps with production and things like this. Fantastic. Here you go, Winnie Harlow. Winnie Harlow worked with Beyonce. I think her Lemonade track. So Beyonce, she's got vitiligo as well. You see on her arms, face, even hands. Work with Beyonce. Victoria's Secret, like one of the most sexified, fancified, highly sought after runway shows. She is a Victoria's Secret model. And there's more to her list as well, but I don't need to go into crazy detail. You're getting the point here. Nastya Zitkova, same thing, albino, very, very, I read in the article, they called her a true ice queen. Like clear, translucent hair, even look at her eyebrows, eyelashes, everything. Very unique look. This one kind of speaks for itself. Rain, as I understand, is a woman and very apparently looks like a woman in certain areas and also not so much woman in other areas. Crushing it as a model. Deandra Forrest, beautiful, very unique look, wild look, crazy look, awesome, crushing it as a model. Alec Weck, gap in the teeth, big gap in her, like, if you know a little bit about African history and things, it's like royalty-like, you know what I'm saying? But in the general world of advertising, it's not seen as the most beautiful thing among most people, or a lot of people, I should say. But obviously harnessed it, dark skin, beautiful, empowering, loving it, crushing it, great. Daphne Self. Okay, how many people talking about, oh, I'm too old, I'm not young enough, I don't look, crushing it as a model. I'm not making this up. Again, this is just literally a Google search. And again, you have the article link that I'm putting in there as well. The point is, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. The point is this. It's not what you look like or what you don't look like that's keeping you from modeling or booking jobs. That's not what it is. I worked with this photographer, actually the same one that delivered the ballroom joke. I worked with this photographer the past 2 days. We did a 2-day shoot. And I was kind of discussing with him about this, about how there's so many people that I talk to that are really interested in modeling, but they talk themselves out of even trying it because of this or that. I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too big, I'm too small, I'm too whatever, right? And they talk themselves out of it. I was telling him, it's ridiculous because they think that you have to be born into this most beautiful, stunning look based on globalized European or fashion or whatever standards. Like people think, oh, I have to look this way. You might be thinking that. You might have been thinking that before this video, and hopefully this is swaying your thought process a bit to where you're creating a different belief system for yourself. But I was talking to him about this, and I'm like, man, there's so many people that I've seen that are stunning, male, female, like incredibly beautiful, handsome, whatever you want to call, that do not do well in modeling. They try modeling, they're trying to do it because they're so good looking, and they just don't do well. And this photographer was telling me, he's like, oh man, tell me about it. He's been doing this. I mean, he's in his mid-50s. He's been doing this for decades. And he goes, tell me about it. He's like, I can't tell you. He asked me about a model that's local. I don't know who she was. I hadn't heard of her, but he goes, let me tell you about her. I've seen her walking randomly, like I've passed her in the street, like downtown, and I had to triple take because I did not recognize her. She just looks so, he's like, not in a bad way, but she just looks so normal. She looks like the most average looking person you could think of. You would never break your neck like, oh my goodness, like the woman in the red dress in the Matrix type of thing. He's like, never walking down there. But every time I photograph her, when we shoot, when we're on set, she is one of the most stunning looking individuals because of her ability, her skill set in modeling that is learnable. And then he tells me the story of how I worked with this person and that person and this person, and they are absolutely stunning, like beautiful. You look at them and you're like stunning. And they get in front of a camera and they don't know what to do or how to act or how to pose or anything like this. And they just look ridiculous, like alien like in a not good way. So he shares this story with me, and it's just emphasizing the same thing. Whatever you look like, you can work. There's advertising out there that wants your look, whatever it is, and your focus should be on your abilities. If you want to have a makeover, if you want to present a different way, if you want to stop wearing long sleeve t-shirts like stuff with, charities on it, High Fives Foundation, big shout out, much love. If you want to stop wearing that and start wearing suits, or you want to start wearing dresses, or you want to start wearing whatever it is that you want to start wearing, by all means, go for it. Just don't let that be the thing that stops you from pursuing this and getting better at the skills that actually get you booked and get you paid to be a model. You can do this. Stop trying to copy everybody else. You just be you and pursue what you want. Put your lifestyle first. Put what you want, the lifestyle and the body that you want to live in, put that first, and then figure out where that fits in the modeling world so that it benefits you. I hope this helped. I hope you just get rid of all these obstacles that have been holding you back from whatever level of pursuit of this that you have decided that you want to pursue. If you want to just try this a one-off thing, or if you want to be a full-on modeling all the time full thing, I hope this helps you to get rid of some of the obstacles in the way. And as we keep going on, we just keep building onto your skill set and stack these up. So your skill stack is going to be working in your favor every time you step in front of a camera.